Hello everybody, it is Monday the 18th of September. Now I want to talk about, and there's going to be a lot in this video, so brace yourselves. I want to talk about the matrix of time and space, and whether or not this is a prison planet. Yeah? And I really want to get a different perspective of what creation actually is, because I really think a lot of people have the wrong end of the stick. So, time and space, and that is the separation. That is a separation where you have the perception of time, different moments in space, the 3D space. And we are operating in this separation. Yeah? So why is that separation even there? Now I have heard, accounts, I get these bloody near-death experiences thrown at me. So, okay. Oh, we are not beings that are in time and space. Yeah? We are all. And you have this experience that when you're dead, that everything happens at one moment in time and space, and there's no more separation. And you know it all in one instance, in one moment in time. Okay, fine. Now, my question to you is, if you look at that, all of that, at one moment in time, and there were regrets, and you wish you had done something differently, how would you change it at that moment? Where would be the time or the space in which you could change something if everything happened simultaneously? There wouldn't be. You would have neither the time nor the space to change anything. And that is why time and space is given. So you have time to change. So that's the first thing. That is time, the separation of time. So you have the ability to do something. And you have a space to do it in. And that is this matrix, that is this world. Now, how is time and space created in this world? Well, the Bible tells you that the stars, the sun, the moon, the day, the night, the month, the seasons, the overall movement of the stars for millennia, it gives you a perception of time in which you can operate. That is how time is created in this world. That's what the Bible says. It gives you that perception. And in that perception, you live one moment after the other. Space, the 3D space. Now, here comes. People are saying, you have these beings, they live outside of time and space. And I don't think they do. We have our own perception of time and space, which is what is creating this matrix, which is holding the bloody thing together. Our perception. They live in a different matrix. They have a different perception of time and space. They're not outside of it, they're just in their own bubble. Yeah? So, and maybe there's some of them that can leave their bubble to go into another bubble. I think Jesus did exactly that when he left this world to go into another kingdom. But all he did was enter into another bubble. He did not go into all. One particular kingdom that was not of this world, that was a distinct different bubble. That's where he went. Come to that later. And then really the idea, which one is the prison planet? Yeah? Which matrix is actually the prison? I want to show you that. I'm coming to that. So there is then the idea that no, nothing exists or can exist unless you do exist in your own little bubble. But then you're on your own. Yeah, you're just floating in your own little bubble. Nothing else there. If that's your place of happiness, I mean, go there. There's no connections to anything else and everything is according to you. But then nothing else can be in that bubble, because everything else will be slightly different from yourself, and then you will have again to make compromises. And if you don't want to do that, then that's the only way. Live in your own little bubble and see how long you can keep it up. So now, if we are in this perception, yeah, that creates this matrix, and we operate inside of that matrix, not just us, not just humanity, there's lots of other consciousnesses. And again, there's another separation, is that we are seeing them as forms. And we see that they're different from us. Like a tree is not like us. It's another consciousness, but it's not like us. It's a form of life, but it's not like us. So there's the other separation. We're wandering around. We know the others, at least by their form. We don't know them any deeper than that at the moment. We can, but we don't. Right. So then, are we imprisoned in this? This is all there is. Now Jesus again showed a way that, and it is actually allowed because Satan stepped aside. He gave that knowledge. Fear stepped aside to give that knowledge. So it was allowed in this world. And I tell you something, Satan is a servant of this matrix. Yeah? So he again was following orders, so to speak, when he stepped aside. So, sorry. So, but there's something in that teaching, the way it's spoken in the Bible, and it says that Satan said, you should worship me. Now, either that is a wrong translation, or, somebody tweaked it, which has been done a lot in that book, or some of the disciples got the wrong end of the stick from the start, to my mind. Because it is not worship. It is not you should worship fear. Obviously you shouldn't worship fear. But you should be guided by it. Satan is a guide to the next level, of understanding of this world. And he should be with you to guide you. Fear should be with you to guide you. Which Jesus said, you know what, no, I don't need any guides, I just go in there by myself, Anyway, and everything is possible, and throw fear out of the heaven. Anyway. Now, fear. The word fear can have many meanings. Or fear can have many manifestations. Now, one of the meanings of fear could be awe, going in awe of God. Now, should you go in awe of that which created this matrix of time and space, that gave you the space in which you can exist and experience? Should you go in awe of that structure, which is the very foundation of this space? Or should you go about and say, you know what? No, I'm imprisoned in this bubble. I'm just going to burst it. I'm just going to start meddling with the very foundations of this world. Now there's wisdom, is it? Or should you go in awe of that construct and leave well alone, except that you are operating within that and don't change it, and sure as hell don't burst this bubble, or we're all flying off into awe. So there's one fear, awe of what was created. And is that wrong? Should you not be guided by that? Now another fear, and that is the way that we are connected to everything else in this world. By love. And we are connected by love, folks. We are. It's not in this world. It's here. We're experiencing it. We just need to bring it to awareness that we are experiencing it. We are connected to others by love. We are connected to we should be connected to our husband. Doesn't always happen, but we should be. To our children, to, even there, it doesn't always happen. To our friends. We are connected in that way. And then fear. There is a fear of hurting another through your actions, and that should restrain you. Again, is that fear wrong? Not wanting to hurt another, is that fear wrong? Or should you be guided by it? And especially if you are an empath. Yeah? Because if your actions create pain in another, you will feel that pain. If you're a true empath. If that connection is truly working both ways, you will feel it yourself. And then should you fear that? Why shouldn't you fear that? Is it not? Why should you not fear that pain? For yourself and for him, or for the other. So to be guided by Satan, to be guided by fear, is not wrong. Anyway, but Jesus was shown a way of going to, let's call it a higher level, a different level. There's actually no up or down in space, but a different level, from a different perspective from which to see what is actually happening. A knowledge greater than just the knowledge of the material. And here is really what it says in the beginning, in the Bible, that God, the Spirit of God, is above the earth, and the earth is without form and void. Or, I've just heard this, and that's actually very good. The Hebrew word is tohu vabohu, chaos. Yeah? So the Spirit is above something that is in chaos. And if you look at the miracles, so Jesus, the Spirit of Jesus, is above a body in this world that is in tohu vabohu, that is in chaos, and he is correcting that chaos. That is actually not the entire world, but the parts. The Spirit is above the parts, and he's correcting separate parts of this world, not the whole bloody thing. I just change everything. No, he was correcting separate parts. Or creating something in a situation like hunger. Hunger is, again, that's imbalance in your body, and he corrected that by creating food. So he was given that knowledge, and it was given by this world. Yeah, it is the kingdoms of this world that he got the knowledge on. It's not economic systems and kingdoms like political systems. Those are not of this world, they are our creation. He got the knowledge of this world, the kingdoms of nature, and he had that knowledge. And he was directed how to use that knowledge to create order in bodies that were in disorder, or in situations that were imbalanced. And he did that. But then he took the next step. And that is when the spirit of this world actually left him. Yeah, my Father, why have you deserted me? And that is, he was taking this knowledge out of this bubble into another bubble. And that was not why the knowledge was given. It was given to serve inside of this bubble. And he went further out than he should have done. And I think one of the reasons is that this state of being, spirit above matter, in order to correct matter, that should be temporarily to do one task. And then you should actually return back into this world. And he didn't do that. He stayed permanently open. And in this open space above this reality, he could be contacted by others. And he was, by another kingdom that taught him the way of completely denying self. That is to say, you're completely detaching from this bubble to go into their bubble and to bring your knowledge, which is what he did. Glory, hallelujah. In fact, let's all go there. Or not, if I show you later on what the prison planet actually is. So, but that was really outside of, I think, what his mission actually was. He went too far out. Now, here's the thing, can we actually do that? Well, obviously, physically or not physically, rather, we can do that. Should we do that? That's the question. This knowledge is according to this world, and here is why it works in this world, and this is the intention of this world. So we have, and that, I think, is the fourth dimension. Yeah? You have time, you have got space, you've got the three, actually that's a fifth dimension. So space is three-dimensional, fourth dimension is time, fifth dimension is the intention. Wow, that only just came to me. Wow. Okay, right, let's run with this. Right, so the intention of this world is that the knowledge that is gained by one should serve all. Yeah? Because this world, if you want to liken it onto something that we know, then this world is a conglomerate made up of different kingdoms that give to one another. That's a conglomerate. That other intention is a hive mind, where the one rules over everything. In the conglomerate, the knowledge is shared, and it goes where it can serve, whilst maintaining the balance of all. In a hive mind, the knowledge goes to the one, and the one will rule over everything else, and it will use the knowledge to rule over everything else. Yeah? And the knowledge is being used in that way. And that kingdom is coming here because we can see the knowledge being used in that way. So if you have the knowledge of medicine, of healing, which not that long ago, actually, this is actually a very recent event where this is really taking off. Not that long ago, the knowledge of medicine was used in a way that it would heal people. Scientists that, let's say, created the original vaccines did so with the intention that it should heal those that it was given to. And for the most part, it did. It worked. This new knowledge of medicine is not done for healing, but it is used to have power over, to control, let's say population control, to serve the one that will rule over everything else. And there the knowledge is used in a completely different way. No longer with the intention that is according to this world, to the conglomerate that is this matrix. So when you're going into the fifth dimension, this is brilliant. So if you're going into the fifth dimension, you go into the level of intention. So can we bring this knowledge, as Jesus did, out of this bubble into this bubble, and it will do the same thing there? No, It won't. It will be used in a completely different way. And obviously, what's happening at the moment, it's not here. It's not doing its works here. Yeah? We're giving it away. It's not bringing our own place, the tohu vabohu, in our own place in order. And it's serving in a different place, in a completely different way. So, is that the way to do it? No, I wouldn't think so. Unless you're absolutely sure what it is you're giving your knowledge to and how they will use it, don't do it. What else is happening in this world? As far as the sharing of knowledge is concerned, obviously not amongst each other. That's the one thing that's not happening. Bring them here to share our knowledge. Yeah? So what are we doing now? We're operating, maybe some of them operating open border policy here. Yeah, we can see reptilians and other forms in this world. Have we an open, just come here and learn? And again, are we vetting what is coming in? What their intentions, again, their fifth dimension actually is. Why are they coming here? We are operating, we have an understanding of open border policy and because we're test driving it in this world where we can understand it, and it's not working out too well. Somebody been operating an open border policy on a higher level. Well, that's not working out too well. And the last way I can see that happening, and that is the bloody whore of Babylon. They're trading our knowledge. They're selling it. They're gathering it and they're selling it to the gods. And they're getting something in return. At the moment, it would appear they're getting the knowledge of technology and of how to build a really big bomb. The bigger the better. But again, in the history of this world, we can see cultures that gave their knowledge, their gold, to the gods. Yeah? Or tried to give their gold to conquering others. And what they got in return were buttons. Shiny buttons. And I think again, we give our gold to the gods and what we get back are not only shiny buttons, but buttons that will blow up on us. Because that is the knowledge we're being given, how to blow ourselves up. So can we trade with other bubbles? Can we give our knowledge just willy-nilly to other bubbles? Should we let others in that come from other bubbles without vetting their intention? And should that knowledge not be in this world and working around us to start with? Now, and here comes the prison planet. As I said, the intention, we have time, which is created by the stars, by the moon, by the sun, by the seasons. We have space, which is 3D. So we have 4 dimensions now. And all of those things may well be relative. They are existing in this bubble and another bubble has got a different perception. But here they exist. And they are. And they're creating this space. And then the 5th dimension, the intention. So, and the intention is built, to my mind, on the model of a conglomerate. Different kingdoms that give to one another to sustain the whole. And is this a lesser system than the hive mind? And are we less imprisoned in this, or more imprisoned in this system than the hive mind? Which is the greater God, the greater world? Which is the greater intention? You want something that has no rules, where you can do whatever you like. as I said, you will need a bubble of your own, and you have to live there on your own. That's the only way you can have it. Any other bubble will have rules, because it is the rules themselves that create the space. And without rules, there's going to be no space. So no, there is nowhere that is the grass greener in that other bubble. I would sincerely doubt it. In fact, that bubble is coming to Earth, it's building its structures, and no, green is not even in it. So, but I think that the fundamental thing we have to think about is that nothing can exist outside of some form of time and space, outside of a bubble. And if you have a bubble, there are going to be rules. And if there are rules, you should adhere to those rules. And as I said, it gives you the experience to experience yourself, others, to understand systems, to correct yourself, because you have the time to do it. The separation enables you to create change and to know others. Maybe just on the level of form, you can know them on a higher level, but you must be within the intentions of this world, the fifth dimension, to not be destructive, or you start actually messing with the very foundations. And I mean, that is lunacy. You're putting yourself above the your will, above what actually holds this bubble together. And then what? We burst this bubble and we're all going to fly off in space and we're going to be free. I doubt it. I doubt that it's going to work. Anyway, folks, I leave it at that for today, and talk to you again soon. Bye.